When she knocked on the door that evening, I almost didn't recognize her. The woman standing on my porch looked like Emma. Same green eyes, same soft lips, but something in her gaze had changed. She carried herself differently, as if the months apart had burned away the warmth that used to live in her eyes. She smiled faintly. "Hi, Ben." My throat tightened. For 6 months, that voice had haunted my dreams. "Hey," I said quietly. "You're back. Can I come in?" I hesitated, my hand gripping the doorframe. Part of me wanted to slam it shut, to protect what was left of me. But another part, the one that still remembered our wedding vows, the laughter, the promises, stepped aside. "Yeah," I said. "Come in." She walked past me like a ghost visiting her old home, her eyes tracing the furniture she used to arrange, the family photos she once smiled in. The faint scent of her perfume lingered in the air, that same lavender I hadn't been able to throw away. I had waited for this moment for months, waited for answers, for closure, for something. But when it finally came, I wasn't ready. 6 months earlier, Emma had left. Not in the middle of an argument, not with tears or shouting. She just packed a small bag one Sunday morning and said she needed to find herself. "I don't know who I am anymore, Ben," she'd said, her voice trembling but determined. "I love you, but I can't stay here and pretend I'm not lost." I had stood there in the doorway, numb. Lost from what? From me. From us. She couldn't look at me. From everything. And then she was gone. At first, I told myself it was temporary, that she'd come back after a few weeks of soul-searching, maybe after a retreat or a solo trip. But weeks turned to months. Messages became short and infrequent. Eventually, she stopped replying altogether. And I was left alone, drowning in silence. Now she was back. She sat at the kitchen table like nothing had changed. The same kitchen where she once baked me birthday cakes, where we used to dance barefoot on lazy Sunday mornings. "Nice to see you kept the place clean," she said with an awkward smile. "Old habits," I replied, my voice flat. She fidgeted, glancing around. "You look good, Ben." I didn't. The mirror told me otherwise every morning. Dark circles, lost weight, tired eyes. But I didn't correct her. "Where have you been?" finally asked. She sighed, clasping her hands together. "Different places. I traveled, stayed with friends. I just needed time to think." "To think," I repeated, bitterness creeping into my tone. "You needed 6 months to think." Her shoulders tensed. I didn't plan for it to be that long. I just didn't care enough to come back sooner. That one hit her. She looked down, blinking rapidly. "That's not fair." "Fair?" I laughed coldly. "You walked out on our marriage without even trying to fix what was broken. And now you're here, talking about fairness." Her lips quivered. "I made mistakes, Ben. I know that." "Yeah. Which ones?" That was when she hesitated, too long. I noticed it. The flicker in her eyes. The guilt. Something twisted inside me. I leaned forward slowly. "Emma, was there someone else?" Her breath caught. The silence that followed was the kind that drowns everything else. She didn't answer right away. Instead, tears welled in her eyes as she tried to find words that wouldn't destroy us both. But I already knew. I had known deep down from the moment she stopped calling me love in her texts. Finally, she whispered, "There was someone." The words shattered me like glass. "Who?" I managed to ask, though my voice was barely a whisper. "Someone I met while I was traveling. His name was Ryan." It wasn't supposed to happen. I stared at her, numb. "Wasn't supposed to happen? Emma, you were married. You made vows." "I know," she sobbed. "I was lost, Ben. I thought leaving would help me figure out what I wanted. But I was wrong. It was a mistake." I stood, pacing the kitchen like a man trying to keep his sanity from collapsing. "A mistake. You cheated on me and called it self-discovery." Her voice cracked. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "Then what did you mean to do, Emma?" Snap. "Go on a spiritual journey and sleep your way to enlightenment." She gasped softly, but I didn't care. Months of silence, of waiting and wondering, came pouring out of me like a storm I couldn't contain. After a long silence, she whispered, "It didn't mean anything, Ben. I realized it too late. I left him. I came back because I still love you." Her words hung in the air like a cruel joke. Love. I laughed bitterly. You left to find yourself, and what? You found someone else instead. I was confused. I thought our marriage had lost its spark. I thought maybe I wasn't enough for you, or you weren't enough for me. But I see now that what we had was real. Real, I said, my voice trembling. Real doesn't walk away when things get hard. Real doesn't disappear for 6 months without a word. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I deserve that. Do. But I came back to make things right. I looked at her then, really looked. The woman I had once loved more than life itself. The woman I'd waited for like a fool. And suddenly I felt empty. The love that used to anchor me had dissolved somewhere between her goodbye and her confession. "Ben," she whispered, "please say something." I sat down across from her, my voice calm but heavy. "I just want to ask you one question." She looked up, hope flickering in her eyes. "Anything." "When you were with him," I said slowly, "did you ever think of me?" Her lips parted but no sound came out. Her eyes said everything. That split second of hesitation, just a heartbeat too long, was all the answer I needed. I nodded slowly. "That's what I thought." She broke then. Completely. Her face crumpled, her hands shaking as she whispered, "I'm sorry, Ben. God, I'm so sorry." But sorry was just an echo in a house that no longer felt like home. I stood up, grabbed my jacket and walked toward the door. "Where are you going?" she cried, her voice panicked. "For air," I said, opening the door. "Maybe to find myself too." She ran after me, her voice breaking. "Please don't do this. We can fix it. I'll do anything. Therapy, counseling, whatever it takes." I turned back, looking at her one last time. "Emma," I said softly, "you didn't lose yourself out there. You just chose someone else. And now I'm choosing myself." The look on her face, pain, disbelief, regret, will haunt me forever. But I walked away. And for the first time in months, the air didn't feel heavy. It's been a year since that night. I never saw her again. She sent letters at first. Apologies, promises, desperate confessions, but I never replied. Couldn't. Some things, once broken, don't fit back together no matter how hard you try. Sometimes I still think about her. The way she laughed, the way she'd hum in the mornings. But the memories don't hurt as much anymore. They're just echoes of who we used to be. I learned something in her absence. Something she left behind without meaning to. Finding yourself doesn't mean running away. Sometimes it means standing still long enough to face the truth, no matter how painful it is. And mine was simple. I loved her more than she deserved. But I love my peace more.